Alright guys, here it is, the Perrin air oil separator for the 2015 WRX install. So this might not be one of those fancy videos with a bunch of cinematics on it. I want to do a full install video, the best that I can. Yeah, so here I have the air oil separator in my hand, along with the instructions and all of the fittings here. So please, I know it seems like a lot, but don't get intimidated with this install. I've read the instructions about 5 or 6 times already. But there are a few things about this air oil separator that I do want to point out to you guys. Now, the bottom of this is removable. Now you can take this, clean out the filter inside, something that you can't do with other air oil separators. So when you do install these, keep in mind these are NPT fittings that are installed. These are not the type of fittings that you need to put on Gorilla Tight. You just tighten it by hand and give it about a half turn to a full turn, and that should tighten everything up. Also, an optional thing that you want to do is Teflon tape around these threads. So you want to put the Teflon tape in a clockwise motion. And Teflon tape is rated at 500 degrees, and your engine oil shouldn't be reaching temperatures of 500 degrees anyways. So Teflon tape is perfectly within that temperature range. And one more thing I wanted to note is that this comes with the turbo sump oil restrictor. So you saw my video about this reducing the smoke output of your engine, especially if you're on a catless J pipe. So it also comes with that, and this all ties together into one complete system here. So there it is. I think I got everything. I hope I got everything. I might have some fitting issues due to the other aftermarket parts I have installed, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Oh, one thing I didn't notice, it also comes with these Allen wrenches too. If you are in the market for an air oil separator, particularly this one, Perrin air oil separator, hopefully this will help you guys out. I don't know how long this video is going to be. If it's too long, I'm going to make it a 2-part series because I want to get you guys a good detailed install video here. But yeah, I'm just going to let the camera run, and then we're going to do our thing here. So if you look on here, these two are the mounting tabs, and you have the input from the crankcase vent. This is going to be plugged up. And what else do we have here? So you have the input from the rear crankcase vent, and this is going to be the output to the intake system. It mentions on the instructions that this can be undone, taken out, and then you can reorient the fittings if needed. Alright, so let's show you what's inside the Perrin air oil separator. So I've taken the included Allen wrench, unloosen this. This doesn't come very tight, by the way. And make sure not to lose that O-ring that's there. And here you go. Here is the bottom. Here is the filter, as you can see. It's pretty interesting. And keep in mind, this can be cleaned out with simple green if you ever feel the need to clean this out in the future. So that's pretty cool. Appreciate that. Also take note of this O-ring when you do uninstall this or do break it down. Open it up, make sure that O-ring is intact and seated correctly. Very important to the functionality of your air oil separator. So let me just put that back in, making sure that your gasket is in place and intact. And we're just gonna hand tighten this for now. Okay, getting on with the install. It looks like the bottom fittings are the ones that they are instructing to install first. They also say they recommend removing the bottom piece for installation of those fittings, but I don't think that is actually necessary for now, and I just have to find out which fitting goes where. Let me just show you that in the instructions. There you go. I really do appreciate these nice detailed instructions from Perrin Performance. It does make everything nice and easy. And when you install Teflon tape, try to avoid the first thread. That's just what I do. Okay, there goes the coolant lines. I'm gonna tighten those later. Next is the oil drain line. Those are probably gonna have to be tightened more later on. All right, got everything nice and tightened. It's kind of discouraging because these are NPT fittings and they don't want you tightening it down really tight. I just really hope that this is tight enough. And I don't want any coolant leaks or any oil leaks because this is the oil drain. Also, this is really interesting. So they have two different size. You're going to want to use the 1/2 inch if you have a 15 or 16. And there's going to be a 5/8 fitting if you have a 17 or up. So let me just show you the differences between those if I could find those. Okay, so 15 and 16 is going to use, I have the 15 model, and it's going to be marked number 56. And that is marked right here. You can see a number on there, 56. There we go. Let me just take those out. So the 56 is for the 15 and 16, and the 57 is for the 17 and up. So next, the instructions say to install the NPT plug, which is this. So I guess the bottom port's not going to be used. So I guess I was using the wrong plug. So this is the actual NPT plug. This is just a plug, so I'm just going to add a little bit of Teflon tape just to be safe. You never know. Got my other 1/2-inch connector. I'm just going to install it on the other side. So these two ports are number 56, and the top one is number 57. So just keep that in mind. To make sure you get your orientations correctly. That's nice and hand tight. There you go. There you go. And I think that's it for now for all the fittings. What you think, guys? I know the Teflon tape, doesn't look all that great on there, but you know what? I'd rather have the Teflon tape there than have a leak. And this is your actual mounting bracket that you have here. It looks like it's a nice quality piece construction. Pretty much what you would expect from Perrin Performance. And let's find the hardware that goes with this. And I'm assuming you have your mounting tabs right here on the air oil separator itself, and I think it goes like that. So I guess it says the hardware that is used to mount the bracket. They also mentioned that if you are going to mount this other than where Perrin recommends, this has to be higher and faced upright. Or what does it say? The drain port needs to be higher than the engine port used for draining oil back into the engine. So there's a reason why you see air oil separators and engine catch cans mounted high up in the engine, because I guess it's using gravity for the oil drain, for the oil to go back into the engine. So one thing to note, if things are powder coated, you just want to make sure all that powder coating is out of the threads. You want to give it a nice good test first before you do your actual torquing down, threading or tightening. That is there, and as you can see, this one's kind of tight. There's a little bit of powder coating in there, no big deal, that can easily be fixed. It's always good practice to start things off by hand first, so that you don't cross-thread your hardware, because you only have one air oil separator that's included in the kit. There's no extra ones. And there you go. There goes your mounting bracket and air oil separator attached.